Yes, people. It's GG at GG on Wrestling on Twitter. Make sure you like and subscribe to the video. Make sure you check out myself on Twitter and check out all my videos on YouTube. This is the GG on Wrestling Awards. I've had some good friends of mine help me with some nominations. Mine was released yesterday, so check that out. And today I've got one of my good friends to help me out, and I'll introduce him in a sec. Just to let you guys know how it's all going to work. So we've had my nominations yesterday. We are about to get into NK's nominations. Barry from Nonstop Wrestling Chat will be tomorrow at 11 a.m. And Thursday, we will hear Mex's picks for all of the categories. Christmas Eve, a Twitter poll will go out on Twitter with all the nominations for you guys to have your vote on the winners, and they will all be announced on New Year's Eve. Make sure you have your vote. Before I bring up my guest, make sure you check out figtees.co.uk for all your custom figure shirts. Great selection on there, quick service, and you can even use code GGPOD to save yourself some money. So let's bring him up. President and CEO of the TDM, member of Wrestlings, the man himself, too sweet to be sour, the man of the hour. It's NK. How you doing, bro?
Yeah, man, man's doing good, man. It's a pleasure to be on. Man.
Pleasure to have you finally on my channel, man.
Yeah,
Before
man.
we get into your nominations, I want to give you a quick award. I want you to accept an award on behalf of Wrestlings. So this year they have won the Wrestling Podcast of the Year.
Yeah, big up the man there.
Very prestigious award. There are no prizes, only respect, but that's worth more than anything. But yeah, Wrestling's brilliant. My favorite podcast. Shout all the wrestling podcasts out there, but there is no other, unfortunately, that compares. Big up Wrestlings every time. Make sure you check out their channel. The info will be below. Just a great bunch of guys that just talking wrestling, man, and it's much needed in the scene. 100th episode next week.
100th episode next week,
yeah, man.
Next week, man.
A big one.
Big
Looking
one.
forward to that, man.
Big
Make
up the
sure you
man
guys
every time, man.
always big up all the wrestlings guys. So before we get into your picks this year of wrestling, how have you found it, man? It's been a good year, right?
It's been a very. I feel like the year's kind of like everything's kind of cooled down toward like in December. Like I say late November, December, everything's kind of like cooled down and things are gonna reset. But in terms of like the year start to finish, I've had to go back and be like, wow, that happened that early in the year. And it's like there's so many moments that happened consistently throughout the year. To pick like one moment or a couple moments was hard. But like, yeah, it's been, even though like we've, the year's been like 50-50, like we just came out of like the pandemic in terms of like having crowds and fans back. But even during like the later parts of the pandemic era, there was still some gems in there. And I feel like credit to the wrestlers and even credit to some of the bookers for keeping us entertained like during, the pandemic, because it wasn't easy. No fans, no crowd, and they still managed, to put on some entertaining shows. So big up them lot.
Yeah, man. It's been a mad year. Like we've been spoiled. Like
Yeah.
so many just great wrestling out there, to the point I think I said it on the Wrestling's podcast, funnily enough. Like we're so spoiled that, especially, and I'm not trying to blow smoke up of AEW's ass or whatever, but the way that they're quite free to wrestle wherever they want, like you can just follow specific wrestlers and check out their matches on GCW or any other promotion, and just, New Japan Strong, or, we're so spoiled that you don't have to necessarily watch all these events. You can just pick matches that you want to see, and yeah, it's just a crazy time, man. And long may it continue into next year, man. Let's get into it. So, the first nomination. So, funniest moment of the year. Any honorable mentions? First off,
Ah,
before
do you
we give
know
you
what?
your.
I'm not actually the greatest of comedy segments. I don't remember a lot of them. Like, if it was like BTE stuff, maybe, but like I was thinking purely like, okay, what is on television? Um, I'm not really sure I have any honorable mentions. There was just one that just stuck to. I kind of just thought of, okay, what's the first one that came to mind, and then that's the one I nominated. So yeah,
Let's go for it then. Who did you nominate?
I can't lie. This is TDM bias. This is a Joshi wrestler. I love my Joshi wrestlers. This is Maki Ito coming out on AW Dynamite, and singing on the ramp while the match was going on. I don't know why. Like, when I just thought of like funny moments, I remember that moment specifically. Like because she had debuted on Rampage. I mean, not on Rampage. Sorry, on Revolution. She did the whole pre-show match, and then cool, we saw her. And then it was a surprise when we saw her on Dynamite. But this time, instead of like cutting her entrance when the song ends, she kept singing while the match was going on, and I just thought
Yeah.
that was hilarious. And Maki Ito, like if you follow her on Twitter, she's hilarious. She's definitely somebody I want to see back in AEW, and yeah, like it just had to go to her because that's the first person that came to mind.
Like if you've never seen Joshi wrestling, and I'm quite guilty of it, I've not checked out a lot.
Mm,
I'm hoping to dive in maybe early next year into some matches and to really get to grips with it. But she's not what you'd expect if you don't know about
not at
Joshi
all.
wrestling. Like she's very witty, very like I don't give a fuck attitude kind of thing, and like she's had some funny moments on BTE as well. Um, but yeah, that's a good shout, man. That was a very funny moment, so I can
Yeah,
see why you picked it, man.
definitely.
Uh, the next category, breakout star of the year. So, any honorable mentions for this before you give me your pick?
100. An honorable mention has to be Jade Cargill. Um,
Yeah, man.
Jade Cargill, I believe she either debuted late last year or early this year. I can't remember exactly the time frame. But Jade Cargill, like for somebody who is was a relative unknown to the wrestling business, like AEW is like her first ever appearance in wrestling. For her, to make the impact that she has, I mean, if you look at that women's division, like, in terms of like stars, like she's easily in the top three, top five conversation, and doing
Just
that
by
within
looking at her alone, like,
and you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And just like her look. And then, in ring, yeah, she's still got a long way to go, but she's definitely, taken to this. And she's had some pretty decent matches. So Jade Cargill for me, in terms of breakout star, somebody, just came out of nowhere and really took the audience by storm. She's definitely an honorable mention. Definitely honorable mention.
any others?
Um, Obviously, I would love another honorable mention is your guy Daniel Garcia. Daniel Garcia's he's really good. Like he's really good, and he's been featured in a lot of like prominent storylines, prominent feuds. And yeah, I see him having a great 2022. Yeah, he's definitely another honorable mention, but he's not my pick. He's not my pick. No, no.
So let's do it. Who is your pick for breakout star of the year?
My pick is Dante Martin. Dante Martin has wowed me this year. And funny enough, like he was obviously in the tag team top flight. His brother Darius got injured, and he started appearing in a few singles matches here and there. And he was, we always knew that he could fly, but I feel like seeing him isolated by himself, and I think I can't remember the exact match, but it was a trios match. It was the Elite versus Dante Martin, Matt Sydal, and I can't remember who the third partner was. Forgive me, but there was a segment between Dante Martin and Kenny Omega where they were just trading offense, and that
Crazy.
segment there made me say, "Hold on a minute!" Like we always knew Dante was good, but this guy is really good. And then from there, you could kind of see like even Tony Khan and people in the back saying, "Hold on, we've got something here. Let's put this guy on TV more." And then every opportunity he's had on TV, he's like we talk about the time maximize your minutes, and he's done exactly that. I mean, the tag team match with him and Leo Rush versus Lou Moriarty and Matt Sydal, the match he had with Alistair Black, even the match he just had with MJF, Winter is Coming. Dante Martin has like truly like every time he's on screen, it's a must see event, and like all this guy needs is to develop his character, and that's fine. And this guy's 20 years old. Like
Who,
he's
who who was it? There was someone said I don't know if it was Mark Henry. I think it
mm,
was Mark Henry that was saying that he's quick to pick stuff up, and he's like you said about the character work, like he's mentioned to Dante that he needs to work on his facial expressions and stuff, and he's already like picking that stuff up. Like you can notice it, even like him coming out for MJF, the way he's walking out, the way he's carrying himself, the talking shit to MJF before he's got to the ring. Like you can tell, like some of these young starts are just gonna improve, like at a crazy rate. Like my favorite shit that he does is that when he steps on the bottom rope and just backflips over people
Yeah,
like with
that's cold.
ease.
That is so
And
cold.
I did hear a rumor that apparently at certain times, if you look up in the sky, you can see him as well because he's just
I'm
always
like, I
hopping.
think there's a photo. I can't remember who he was doing it on. I don't know. I think it was against the Aleister Black match, like where he was doing a springboard jump, and he was literally so high that he was almost
out,
out of frame on the
out of
camera.
the screen, yeah.
I
And
was
that
like, wow.
there's that one where he's doing the sunset flip
Yeah,
while the sun's setting.
yeah,
Crazy. He
crazy.
deserves to be mentioned just for that alone, bruv. Like
Yeah, Dante
just
Martin is
that image.
incredible. Like, he's incredible.
100%. Yeah, very strong pick. Cool. Moving on to promo of the year. Any honorable mentions?
Honorable mentions is Eddie Kingston, and it was a segment after Revolution. It was John Moxley and Eddie Kingston. They were in it was like a backstage promo. And the reason why this is an honorable mention is because we all know the fiasco that happened at Revolution with the barbed wire death match. The finish didn't go according to plan, and it left it all just quite flat. And the reason why I mentioned Eddie Kingston, that Eddie Kingston is like one of the greatest promo minds in wrestling, because people were criticizing Eddie Kingston for selling the whole thing when, it shouldn't have been sold, because the exposure didn't go off, nothing happened. And the way he was just able to, think of an excuse that fit his character authentically. It wasn't that the excuse sold it to me. It was just the fact that this explanation of what happened was so in touch with his character, and he has such a deep understanding of his character. Another segment that needs promo of the year segment is MJF versus Brian Pillman.
Oh yeah.
MJF versus Brian
Metheny. Metheny, you know.
Bethany. Um, wow, one of the few times in wrestling I was like, did he cross the line? Like I was like,
Yeah.
did he cross the line? Yeah, like MJF, like in that segment was diabolical. Like he's so good at what he does. So yeah, I have to big up MJF for that segment every time. Those are my honorable mentions.
So who's your nomination for promo of the year?
Promo of the year in terms of the segment, it has to be MJF versus CM Punk for me. I know that we've had many discussions in the group chat. Big up Jimmy, big up Roy. They're not really fans of like shoot promos, but me, I love that. As long as it's done well and it makes sense, give it, like
And
do it.
the
And
fact the fact that they saved that line for MJF about the UFC stuff as well, like they knew what they was doing. They knew that was in the back pocket, and they saved it. And like as battle rap fans as well, like the fact that these man just basically went 2 rounds each
yeah,
and was
exactly.
and stood patiently, just waiting to have their say. Like that's the shit I fuck with as well, man.
And the thing is, it's like that's that segment that we don't see 20-minute promos start off the show in AW. I know that's a
Yep.
common trope over there, not to like say, oh my god, not to draw comparisons, whatever, but it's like that's not something we see in AW television. And the fact that what, they've waited enough time to like, okay, we're gonna do a 20-minute promo segment, and we're gonna do it with two of arguably the best promos in the company, and it's gonna let loose. And all the comparisons between those two were all the like back and forth was amazing. And yeah, like it just reminded me like why we love CM Punk. Like segments like that. I mean, like when you think of CM Punk, so of course you think of the pipe bomb, but you also think of, the segment he had with The Rock where he said your arms are too short to box with God. And then I feel like this now is another like segment we'll think about when it comes to CM Punk. Will be like, listen, CM Punk versus MJF, that was cold as well. That was amazing. That's like for me, that's like one of the I'm so happy like I was there live to watch it. So yeah, that's definitely promo of the year for me.
Yeah, can't disagree. That's one of the best moments of the year, personally. Like
Yeah.
we've wanted them to face for so long. We
Mhm.
even knew what they were going to say, the poster in the room and all that stuff, but it's just landed and it was just mad entertaining, man, and good viewers as well. Not that we talk
Mhm.
about that, but uh
Uh,
cool. So this is going to be a tough one. Match of the
boy.
year. So I'm sure you've got a lot of honorable mentions. See, what I said in my nominations, Wrestle Kingdom always mess this up for me because they bang start of the year, bangers after bangers, and then you almost forget about them. Like by the time this comes around. But yeah,
Yeah,
any honorable mentions for you?
boy. Where do I? Okay, I'm just going to list them off from the top of my head. Okay, Okada versus Will Ospreay at Wrestle Kingdom, incredible match. Jeff Cobb versus Shingo at Wrestle Kingdom, incredible match. Shingo Takagi versus Will Ospreay, New Japan Cup. Kenny Omega versus Ray Phoenix, incredible match. Britt Baker versus Thunder Rosa, St. Patrick Slam, incredible match. Kenny Omega versus Brian Danielson, incredible match. Kenny Omega versus Hangman Page. Kenny Omega versus Hangman Page versus Brian Danielson. Lucha Bros versus Young Bucks. I mean, I could be here. Walter versus Dragunov. Like there are a lot of matches that deserve recognition. I could be here all day. But
For the audio
yeah.
listeners, I've just been sat here just shaking my head like a bopping dog, like because f- absolute like fire matches. But
Fire.
who takes the pick for you this year?
This is a match that I feel like at the beginning of the year, it was a lot of people's consensus for match of the year. Obviously, Wrestle Kingdom starts off early in the year, so a lot of matches will come after that. However, I feel like the reason why a lot of people aren't speaking about this match is because what they anticipated would happen after the match in terms of the two characters' role in their
Mm,
company didn't get fulfilled. But in
yeah.
terms of this as a match start to finish, I mean, this gave me that feeling of being a kid again when one of your favorite wrestlers wins the championship again. And this was like perfect, like babyface versus heel. And this match did take place at Wrestle Kingdom. This match main event in night two of Wrestle Kingdom, and the match was Kota Ibushi versus Jay White at Wrestle Kingdom 15. To me, as soon as I saw this match, I said, I don't think there's a match I'm gonna like more than this. And it's
It's
many
it's
different
crazy to
reasons.
think that
Yeah,
that has stayed constant for you. Like that's what I said
yeah,
about Wrestle Kingdom. Like, and I think we mentioned it in the tier list when we spoke about Shingo. Like the man
yeah.
puts on match of the years at the start of the year. But what do you think like has held this up for you and nothing else has kind of like topped it for you?
I
Because I
think
get what you're
it.
saying. Like the heel
Mhm.
face dynamic, there aren't many better heels, like especially in ring, like than Jay
The Jay
White.
White. Yeah.
So yeah, what do you think it is? This like kept this at the top for you?
Uh, Obviously, I think it's obviously there's a personal element to it too. Like Kota Ibushi is somebody I followed for years, so just seeing him have that moment, because the whole storyline was like, okay, cool, like he's never won the title, and for him to do it at Wrestle Kingdom, that was his crowning moment, and
Mm.
for somebody who's watched him so long, I mean, that was amazing to see. But also, it's like, the fact that Jay White's the person that took the title, I mean, took the briefcase off him when he won the G1. The fact that Jay White's always been his foil, and then just the dynamic between those two in the match. It was like Jay White was so heelish during the match. I mean, he'd do things like come out of the ring, like stop Ibushi's momentum, and then like there's a spot that Ibushi does in most of his matches where he does like the no sell spot where his face goes blank. But
Blank
in
face
this,
Ibushi.
yes, blank face Ibushi. But because when he did blank face Ibushi in this match, I popped. Like I was like, yes, like beat like Jay White made me was one of the few heels that made me like in that match like root for the baby face and like no beat him up Ibushi, beat him up.
Yeah,
And I feel like while the other matches were like like there are definitely other matches that deserve to be mentioned, like I mentioned before. I just feel like this match just gave me that feeling of being a kid again. As a kid, you don't really care about the sports. You just care about I want my baby face to beat this heel because I don't like
yeah.
this heel. And if I think of a match that did that for me, it was Kota Ibushi versus Jay White at Wrestle Kingdom 15.
Check it out if you haven't. I know New Japan, like the booking isn't great at the moment with this House of Torture and this that. Did you see someone say it to the guy that owns New Japan started his Twitter account today? Innit? You see this?
No, I didn't see it.
So I don't know. I don't really keep up with who's at the top, but
Yeah.
presuming he's like some new guy in charge, he's put up a Twitter account today saying like, "This is my Twitter account," blah blah blah, and someone straight away get rid of House of Torture, and then he's replied, "Your favorite wrestlers will do that for me," and then someone's gone, "No, honestly, get rid of them." So, but yeah, like I urge people. I think we've said it quite a lot on anything we've been on. New Japan hasn't been great as a product as of late,
No.
but honestly, don't sleep on some of the matches. The G1 this year has some great matches. Wrestle Kingdom is always good for great matches, so don't sleep on New Japan, man. 100%. Moving on, tag team of the year. I know that there's a big margin between the top spot and everybody else, but do you have any honorable mentions?
Dangerous Techers.
Yeah.
Dangerous Techers have had a pretty good year.
Do you know what upsets me with Dangerous Techers though?
Yeah.
I need a solid ZSJ solo run, man. He's
Yeah.
never had a proper solo run. Like he's had bits and bobs, but I would like, especially some of the stuff he put on the G1 this year. Like I need to see him going solo. But yeah, Dangerous Techers have been solid this year, man.
Dangerous Techers, I'd say a tag team that, you know, has kind of like won me over a bit is the Acclaimed. I wasn't a fan of the Acclaimed at all. But
Yeah.
they claimed to have done some solid work, but like let's be real. I mean, let's get to the chase. We know who the tag team of the year is. Like it's for me. This is like this is non-negotiable. Like the only reason why they're not your tag team of the year is if you have an agenda against them or you don't watch the product.
Yep.
That is
Yep.
it. Young Bucks are by far the best tag team all year, and like, I'm gonna push their matches to the side. I will push their matches to the side because that's not even the main reason why the tag team of the year. Their heel turn was phenomenal. Just their whole demeanor, because Young Bucks have always, you know, been like kind of these cocky, arrogant heels. That's the character that they've had in the Indies, but the way they ramped it up, I mean, most obviously with the shoe stuff. Like, regardless of your opinion on how it affected other companies, certainly the shoe stuff with the Young Bucks worked for them. Like,
Mm-hmm.
it got them so much attention, and it was like it was a very interesting way of gaining heat because you know there's the ongoing conversation with people like Bully Ray and stuff like that saying wrestlers don't know how to get heat, and whatever your opinion is on that conversation, the shoe stuff got heat with the audience it was supposed to get heat with.
Bro, when
Like
I
you
see
don't.
them walk out in the Dior's, yeah, I couldn't believe what I was seeing. I was like, these men are full hill. Like, how are you wrestling in these trainers, bruv?
It's when
Mad,
he creased them on when Nick and
mad.
Matt creased the Dior's on purpose, and then even the match with SU where they got blood on the
The
Dior's,
Reds.
and they got blood on the Reds, and then even at Double or Nothing where Eddie Kingston had the Dior's and was swinging the blood. Just like how could you get a shoe over? And then not even that, not even forget the shoe stuff, the stuff they were doing, the whole storyline with Don Callis and the Super Elite, and then how they were feeding into Kenny Omega's insecurities was excellent. Like stuff like that Nick Jackson is hilarious. Like
Yeah.
Nick Jackson, like he's God's gift to wrestling. That what is wrong with that guy? Like the whole macho man stuff, like the
For no
backass,
reason. There's not even a reason he's doing it, bruv. He's literally just out of nowhere just thought, fuck it, I'm macho man. Like, and the Bakar, like, I swear he was walking the ropes this week and just
yeah,
Bakard, like, for no
yeah,
reason.
yeah.
Like, I
Like
honestly think he might be the funniest man in wrestling. Like, he's
Nick Jackson
hilarious.
is hilarious, and it's just like again to people who don't watch the part, they might be like, "Oh, this doesn't sound like." But if you compare the way the characters were in the beginning of AEW to where they are now, it's like it made sense just the evolution of their characters, and it's just that as characters, Young Bucks are entertaining as hell. Like they are your obnoxious heels. They were obnoxious. They did their job. And then if we talk about the matches, I mean, oh my god, I mean, you had I'm just going through their title defenses. You had the match with. I've literally got a list right now. You got the match with Ray Phoenix and Pac, two members of the Death Triangle. Great match. The match they had with SCU, incredible match. Match with Varsity Blondes, great. Moxley and Kingston at Double or Nothing,
Fire.
great. Penta and Eddie Kingston on the Dynamite, great. Young Bucks versus the Jurassic Express was great. And then obviously like
And then there's
that
multi-mans as well,
and
like
there's
they've been
multi-match.
involved in.
But then obviously the match that I'm dying to talk about is obviously that match of All Out.
Yeah. Crazy.
That is one of the best cage matches I've ever seen.
I honestly don't think anyone could tell me a better cage match. People argue Brett Owen, this, that. There's been some solid cage matches, but personally, I don't see how there's any cage match, multi-man, single, whatever, that compares to it.
I'm only saying one to be conservative. Personally, I haven't seen any, but if people want to show me some, go ahead. I'm being conservative. I'm saying one off just to not piss anyone off. But like, that's certainly like that match is phenomenal. Like like you can say sport heavy. I don't care. People saw the reaction on the All Out vlogs. Big up Mex and big up WrestleMania. Go watch the All Out vlogs. But people saw our reactions. Like that is what wrestling's supposed to. I don't care about the psycho. Forget all of that. You saw what that match did to us, and yes, it can be overdone. But in that specific moment, that match did what it needed to do. It created a reaction, and it was incredible. And I was saying that right now. Young Bucks and Lucha Bros have probably one of the best trilogies out there in wrestling. That is an underrated trilogy. You think about their match at Double or Nothing 2019, fire. Their ladder match.
Was that the ladder? Yeah, the ladder match was crazy.
So the ladder matches are all out. The 2000 and their match and the first Double or Nothing was just a regular tag match, and then they have the ladder match, and then they have this one. That is a trilogy of matches. I want people in the comment section to name me a tag team that's had better trilogies. Trilogies like that.
Did Revival and American Alpha have a trilogy? If they did, that's close.
That's close.
But
I don't think they had a trilogy. I think it was two.
It might not have. Yeah, because they had 2 out of 3 falls, didn't they? But yeah, I couldn't name anyone apart from that.
That's a good shout. Yeah, that's a very good shout.
I feel you. Mad chemistry. Like from the bell ringing in that match, chemistry. Like my favorite spot was the super kick, nip up.
Yeah.
Fire. Whoever thought of that is a madman. And Ray Phoenix doing his between the ropes and pushing off the cage to spring away, like crazy match.
Like in terms of Young Bucks have fulfilled like the only criteria where we say is promos, but like come on, like they're like character work, like they've entertained you every time they've been on screen, whether it's a segment or whether it's in the ring, and like as characters, you can see the progression in their stories, and even most recently at Full Gear, the wrap up of the Hangman Page stuff, they were involved in that as a tag team. Like the Young Bucks are, in terms of like, you can say whatever you want about the tag team division in AEW because it does deserve a bit of criticism, but Young Bucks are perfect examples of what tag team champions are. They are. Because a lot of the time in different wrestling products, even including AEW, the tag team division or the tag team champions were like an afterthought. It's like, okay, it's just a useless thing. The Young Bucks felt integral to the show, and that's how champions should feel. You are integral. You are an integral part to the show. So your Young Bucks are definitely like it's no debate. It's no debate. Yeah. If you debate this, you are a hater. They are tag team of the year. That is it.
And to the point where, like NK's just said, you can check out the vlogs on Wrestling's channel, WrestleManiac UK's channel. The Lucha Brothers winning, that moment is a testament to the hard work that the Young Bucks put in beforehand to build themselves up for Lucha Brothers to then take the belts. And our reaction to that, like everyone went nuts. Like for the winners of a match.
Because let's be honest, like the build to the Lucha, there wasn't really a build to Lucha Bros and really. Young Bucks. They were just thrown together. But Young Bucks were such like good heels, it's like, yeah, like Lucha Bros have to win.
Hmm.
And the
Yeah.
Jordan spikes, come on, come on, come on, come
This
on.
is what I mean. They've become synonymous with these crepes. If I look at Travis Scott's, I just instantly think of that moment. If I see the breads, I think of the blood dripping from the Christopher Daniels stuff. You know, the pink and whites or Jordan ones. I think about the street fight they had. Like for them to be able to just link themselves with trainers is just crazy, man. And there's more to come. You've heard them. You've heard the rumors. The fire spot is coming. Like, but they need a crazy kick to drop next year, and then it's
I
go time.
can't lie. Look, they need their own shoe. They need their own shoe. Like I
True.
feel like they need their own shoe. Like maybe if it's a collaboration or something, they just need their own shoe.
If they can get a collab, they're gone.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy.
But yeah, well deserved. Like, yeah, there's not really an argument. And yeah, like NK said, if you're arguing, you're hating. So, moving on, female wrestler of the year. Any
Um,
honorable mentions for you?
this is somebody. The only reason why I haven't put her on the list is because I'd feel like I'd be disingenuous because I haven't watched enough of her work. But a woman, if I was to say it's somebody who I've become a fan of recently, it's Utami Hayashishita of Stardom. Um, from the matches I've seen of her, she's only 20 years old, 21 years old, but she will be in the conversation of best women's wrestlers in the world for a very long time. Like her match with Shuri is probably the best women's match I've seen all year. But like I said, I haven't watched enough of her stuff throughout the year to justify her being on the list above people that I've watched. But that's definitely somebody that, like, in terms of her moveset, match quality, incredible, incredible. Another person, and let's put on the list, obviously, Britt Baker. Britt Baker's had an incredible year. She is a star. Like she is a star. Like I say again, she can walk into any company and be somebody. Britt Baker's definitely done amazing work. Who else would I want to give a shout out to? I would say, obviously, Sasha Banks is Sasha Banks. Like, she's had a on and off year, but you know, main event in WrestleMania with a certain somebody is obviously an amazing and historic achievement for many different reasons.
Cool. So who takes it? You've given a spoiler there anyway, but who is it?
Bianca Belair. Like Bianca
Yeah.
Belair was the best female wrestler. It's just like it's everything. It's her push, like I remember like people talk about. Oh, we'll get to the WrestleMania moment and how significant that was, but that Royal Rumble, going back to that Royal Rumble and the final two between her and Rhea Ripley, like it was electrifying. I know that word's overused, but it was electrifying. It was like, wow, like we are seeing the birth of a star. And then
Forgive me if I'm wrong. So Bianca didn't she get bare eliminations the prior year as well?
yeah.
So
She got a
like
lot of
even that
eliminations.
kind of like just adds to her eventually winning the whole thing.
Yeah. And even at I'll admit, at WrestleMania, I wanted her to lose. I kind of wanted, the whole her and Sasha thing to, go wherever. But when she won, I was like, no, do you know what? This was the right decision. Bianca should have won. And that moment, just, two black women main event in WrestleMania. And, somebody like Bianca Belair, who's in the context of the main roster, she's a rookie or someone who's quite new, main event in WrestleMania, and putting on the performance that she did was incredible. I'm not gonna sit here and pretend like I've watched SmackDown week in, week out, but from the stuff I saw, Bianca she was doing incredible things, and it's just like somebody, to become an established star, an established person on that roster so quickly. And we spoken at length about how this talent is being misused or this talent hasn't reached their potential. Bianca has not only reached, she's exceeded all expectations I had of her.
Yeah.
So I just feel like with her, like she deserves all the accolades that she's getting. And even last night, she was making headlines. You know, the whole segment with Piper Niven, where she picked her up and then threw her, and I was like,
The
wow,
strength, the
like
strength of
incredible.
that girl, man. She was putting on feats of strength even in NXT days.
Yeah,
She's it's just so athletic. Like she's just very impressive, man. Like you could argue maybe the character work isn't as strong as maybe like the Britt Bakers, but she knows who she is, like her look, the way she carries herself, like and to the point where WWE are pushing her in the media and stuff like that. And I
yeah,
love just seeing the pictures of like the little girls with braids in their hair in the front row
yeah,
and that.
yeah,
It's just good stuff,
yeah.
man. And like you said, tremendous, not even achievement, but just accolade to be the first, not only female main event for WrestleMania, or no, it's not the first actually, sorry,
Second,
but the first, yeah, the first black female wrestling main event, like WrestleMania, the grandest stage of them all, for them to go out and do their thing, and what a match it was, like easily match of the year contender. Like,
mm-hmm.
yeah, Bianca
100%,
Belair has
100%.
done bits, man, and yeah, deserves all the flowers, man.
Big up to her, man. Big up to
So the final category, male wrestler of the year. Uh was this a tough decision for
her.
you?
Horrible, horrible.
It was. So
Like,
you did have trouble with it, because for me it was
I had
pretty
a lot of
clear.
trouble.
I chose somebody else just to give a bit more options, but like I think there's a clear person personally. But yeah, talk me through any honorable mentions.
Obviously, TDM, one my favorite wrestler in the world right now, Kenny Omega, was obviously somebody like, I just wanted to consider, and he's had an incredible year. Um, he's had an incredible year in terms of like what he's achieved and like accolades wise, like he'd easily be whatever, and even just wrestling with an injury stuff like that. My only reason for why he's not is as great as the impact thing was for like business and stuff like that. I felt like there were missed opportunities with that,
Yeah,
and
man.
I think about what could have been. Whether whoever you want to blame for that, whether it's Tony Khan, whether it's Scott D'Amore, whether it's Kenny, whether it's whoever, like the impact thing didn't live up to the expectations I had. I'll be real, but
Yeah.
but the achievement within itself to have all the belts and to be recognized as the person that like you are the man in multiple companies, and that's undisputed. Because when Kenny Omega was the guy in Impact, like, there was nobody on his level. When Kenny Omega was AEW champion, like yeah, we all knew Hangman Page was the guy, but that was because of the storyline. Like if you look at Kenny Omega, he's
Mm.
AEW, like he's the guy. Um, and then obviously you have people like Roman Reigns, Roman Reigns has finally, like I said, after half a decade, has finally like unanimously been praised. And that is, the tribal chief stuff is great, and even the stuff he's doing with Brock Lesnar, voice couple segments is great. We can debate about what he's doing for other talent, but him as a wrestler, like that achievement within itself, phenomenal. Obviously you got guys like Shingo putting on bangers of matches. Will Ospreay's had a good year. Big E, cashing in his money in the bank. But for me, this person, it's not they haven't had the most consistent year. They took some time off. You can debate the beginning of the year wasn't strong, but for me, it's the situation of their highs have been so high. Like their highs this year, this person's highs has been so high. And yes, in the words of Roy Johnson, work rate. Yes, it's a work rate type thing, but the work rate is work rating.
Shout out all
Yeah.
my work rate perverts.
But yeah, for me, it's the American Dragon Brian Danielson. Just like, just
100%.
like, even his no, even that, like his. Let's talk about the beginning of the year. Main event in the pool. You can say he was thrown in that main event feud. You can say, cool, WrestleMania, he was just chucked in. It didn't really make sense. Should have been Edge and Roman. Fair, cool. The match banged. The match banged. That WrestleMania match banged, and we say WrestleMania is the grandest stage of them all. That you main event in WrestleMania, cool. You went off, you did your own thing. You debuted on the best pay per view all year, and You debuted on the best pay-per-view all year, and you were one of the reasons why that pay-per-view is one of the best pay-per-views, not only of this year, but one of the best pay-per-views I've ever seen.
All time.
Like, that is an
All-timer.
all-time great pay-per-view, and that is because of what you did. Cool. Now, we've all seen great debuts. What do you do with a debut? Your first match, you have an absolute banger with Kenny Omega. You fulfill a dream match within your first match. Crazy. Then on Rampage, I mean, not even on Rampage, on the Rampage YouTube special. This wasn't even on the main show. This was a YouTube special. You get hundreds of thousands of people to go on YouTube and watch you and Minoru Suzuki beat the crap out of each other. Madness. And then all of the other bangers he's been having on Rampage or Dynamite, whether it's Dustin Rhodes, whether it's the match at Miro with All Out, whether he's been putting on absolute wrestling clinics. Brian, and then cool, you do all of that. Then this guy's over. Then within a couple months, you pull off a masterful heel turn in one night.
One night.
Like what? In one night? You pull
how
off a heel turn.
How confident must he be in his ability to go out there and go, I'm gonna turn heel, like just turns it on
casually.
Mad.
And the thing is, it's not a situation where fans were building resentment for him. No, we loved Danielson. But it's like in the minute he's healed out, and now we dislike him, and now we hate him, and like wrestling match, cool. Like if you talk about, I don't like using these insider terms like draws or whatever, but cool. Investment. We are invested in Bryan Danielson and character work. He showed character work in AEW in less than 2-3 months. One match quality, excitement. Like Bryan Danielson, has the only thing that is stopping him from like being like a unanimous undisputed is he hasn't won the title. Fair enough. That's a solid argument. And he took 6 months out. That's fair. He took a significant period out of wrestling. That is fair. And that's why if you want to put other people ahead of him, but based on, their title reigns and their consistency throughout the year, I hear you. Consistency-wise, he's not in the conversation. But in terms of peaks, the peaks he's reached in wrestling this year, for me, it's Danielson. Like his peak higher than anyone else's, in my opinion. Like Danielson is incredible. And he's my wrestler of the year for me.
Just the fact of he's fought the two best wrestlers of the year effectively, like back to back, like that alone, like match quality. Like his match quality is unmatched this year. It's clear. I do just want to put. Oh, I missed it earlier. Apologies. When we was talking about the Young Bucks, some man will tell you the Usos have had better matches, though. It's true. Oh, some man will, and they're wrong. They're wrong. Big up yourself. But yeah,
big up
Danielson, strong pick. I hope he wins. He's got my vote. Like he deserves it, 100%. Very strong picks, NK. Good luck. The Twitter poll will go up on Christmas Eve. Make sure you all vote. I want to see your picks. I want comments down below. Make sure you check out Rest Things. Make sure you check out Rare Podcast as well. Follow NK on Twitter. His information will be down below. Any, not even necessarily predictions, but any personal like a hope for wrestling next year? Anything you're hoping to see apart from Ibushi and Kenny Omega reuniting? Of course, we want it every year.
I need. Do you know what I need? I need to hear Okada's coin drop on AWTV and hear the pop. That coin, it's the coin drop. That is all I need. The coin drop. I need that at a pay-per-view, and hopefully it's at maybe a Revolution or Double or Nothing. So I'm with the man them, and they can see me mark out, because that's all I want. I need to hear that coin drop. And
I'm staying away from you, bruv. I'm keeping distance, bruv, because you're gonna be swinging. I'm gonna keep away, bruv. It gets rowdy as it is, man. People grabbing up each other, but that'll be different.
Yeah, that is Royal Rumble. I'm so sorry.
With you.
If I elbow you, it is what it is, bruv.
But yeah, I'm with you, man. It'll be good to see.
Yeah.
Wicked, man. We'll leave it there. Make sure you guys have your vote. The Twitter poll, I repeat, will be up on Christmas Eve. The results will be announced New Year's Eve. So make sure you're subscribed so you can make sure you don't miss that. Subscribe to Rest Things, subscribe to Rare Podcast. Make sure you follow NK on Twitter. And that is it. Respect yourself. Don't neglect yourself. Peace.